We'll pick it up in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 29 through 31. There's a famous book written by Jordan Peters, and in it he talked about the lobster. When a lobster stands strong, when it straightens out its back, puffs out its chest, widens its claws, all the other lobsters stay away from it. If it can look like it's tough, it feels tough, and then everybody else begins to walk away. It walks stately. The other day I was walking my dog. I got a puppy dog, and he's kind of big for a puppy, golden doodle. And in these last couple of weeks, he's been pretty cowardly. And so finally, I was so proud of him the other day. In the distance, there was this big, mean-looking German Shepherd dog. And he saw that dog. He smelt around a little bit, looked both ways, and maybe from me to across the street. And then he started barking. I go, yeah. First time I heard that bark. Wax is more like, and then that German Shepherd started shouting back, ruh, ruh, ruh. And then the owner looked at me, and I looked and waved real friendly, and she said, hey, I'm sorry, my dog doesn't get along with other dogs. He doesn't like other dogs. I said, hey, it's no problem. And so we started walking, and then my dog stood up on his two legs like a horse. And he turned and started pawing in the direction of that German Shepherd. I said, man, it's a good dog. Get some fight in you now, dog. I gave him a couple of treats and said, that's good. You get a little courage now. There are some animals, like a meerkat, little tiny squirrel-looking monkey thing. And when it sees an enemy, it stands up on its legs and starts swinging. Because it wants to look tough. It wants to look the part. In Solomon's writings, he says there's 4 things I've noticed that know how to walk right. They walk stately. They walk with some royalty. They walk with confidence and courage. And I want us to not only win the inner battle, but to be able to walk like Solomon says we ought to walk. He says there's 3 things. No, there's 4. The lion never turns out of the way for any animal. The greyhound, the he-goat, and the king when he is with his troops. He has his chest puffed up and his neck a little tilted high. In other words, he walks with a confidence and a courage. And God has called each of us not only to win the battle, but to walk in the Spirit, to walk with Him, and to walk with the courage that we're called to. You see, we have to trust the DNA He's given us, trust the training, and trust the troops that He's given us. In Hebrews chapter 10, it says, we do not shrink back. We're not the cowardly ones. We're not the ones withering away. We're the ones with courage. We're the ones bringing the gospel to people that need it. In the book of Judges, the people have been downtrodden over and over. They've been conquered and enslaved, conquered and enslaved, conquered and, you guessed it, enslaved. And then God raised up a mighty judge, Deborah. And Deborah calls on Barak, and they win this glorious battle against these 900 iron chariots. And she writes a beautiful song, and it ends with this phrase, and so we walked bolder and bolder. So we walked with more weight under our feet and more weight under our feet. We made an echo. We made a sound. We stopped cowering and began to walk the right way. I hope our lives reflect the confidence that we have in Jesus Christ. In Colossians